Mark in the pit. I love my Kamado.
I love my Kamado.
I love my Kamado. Here are some things that I do to my Kamado to help keep it working great. I'm not sure how much of this applies to other brand Kamados, but I'm sure that there is some overlap with other brands as far as some of the issues that I've seen. I've also included a lower vent mod that seems to be working flawlessly since installation. Here are some things that you'll need. The screwdriver that came with your installation kit. A better screwdriver, you'll need something with a fat head on it. Crescent wrench. A 3/16 Allen wrench. Sharp knife. Some furniture felt padding that you put on the bottom feet of furniture. Pair of scissors.
Alright, so we're going to go over a couple of things here. First thing, pull it out away from the wall. Now, one thing I've noticed is that over time this got a little loose on me. So I took the screwdriver that came with the installation kit and crescent wrench. I put the crescent wrench right there. Just enough to hold it snug. And then I walked it out here. And I just put the screwdriver on here. Just give it a little bit of a tweak. Not a lot, just enough to make it snug. Same thing on this side here. Just enough to make it snug. Okay. Now, since we're on the cap here, over time with like creosote from smoking wood and just goop from making chickens and stuff, you'll get some buildup around the vent hole here. And I've noticed that sometimes it'll stick real tight, like real hard. So what I would do if I have trouble getting this open is I'll just take my fire and I'll warm this up here. And I'll do that for a good 30 seconds or so. You know, just enough to warm it up. And then that's usually enough to get it to start sliding open. Now, another thing that I do is after I'm done cooking, I'll wait for the temperature to get down to about the 200 area. And then I'll just come out and I'll open it, close it a couple times, and that's it. And then that's enough to break up what you have taking it up. Alright, next thing I want to show you is just, go feel all the bolts here. See if anything feels like it's starting to get loose. When you open that, see if that feels like it's wiggling left or right. Some general maintenance stuff. Everything here feels good so far. Okay, now one thing I did notice on this after a bunch of uses is, hold on, let me get the guts out, is that these bolts here would start to get loose. You can see as you open and close it that this just kind of slides around. This at one point looked like this was moving as I was opening and closing it. And that gave me a little bit of play left and right in the lid. So what I did is I just kind of held on to that right there, and I took the bigger screwdriver head and I just tightened that up. Same thing on this side, I checked that as well. Just made sure it was nice and snug. I mean, it doesn't need to be super tight because you do have metal pieces sliding, but just enough so that it doesn't look like it's going to unscrew itself or that it's going to make your lid wobble back and forth. And then another thing is with the lid, the tension on it. I like mine to be a little bit on the loose side, so I'll adjust this right here. So if you make it tighter, what that's going to do is it's going to make it so that your lid will stay wherever you sit it. But like I said, I like mine a little on the looser side, so I'm going to loosen it back up. Yeah. See how it drops down, but it's not like a real fast drop. It's like a controlled release, but it's not going to just hang there, which I don't like it when it just hangs there. All right. Another thing I wanted to show you while I have you here is an adjustment I made to this vent hole. There was a gap here on both the inside and the outside. So what I did is I actually just push this back in, open that up. These aren't real tight, so you might not need your crescent wrench. But I take my Allen wrench here and take this off. That's actually a little tighter than I thought it would be. So I'm going to go ahead and get my crescent wrench in there. That was enough to loosen it. Let's see if the bottom one needs me to loosen that up as well. Alright, so basically I just, you can see here that I took this padding stuff and I basically just took a pair of scissors and cut it to fit. I mean, I didn't measure anything, I just made it fit. And then once I got it on there, I took the knife and I just kind of filleted the edge a little bit so it's about half as thick, because when it was its full thickness it was just too tight to fit in and slide, so half thickness seemed to do really well. Now I kept it a little bit thicker on the ends just to give it a little more coverage, but that's about it there. And make sure you push these pins in when you're putting it back. And that's it. Make sure you got the washers on the right way. Being a little tricky. And just make it hand tight. I mean, it's ceramic, you don't want to break it. Alright, that looks good. Now I'm going to go ahead and wipe this off a little bit because it's mine and I want it to be nice. Alright, I'll put all the tools away. That's everything. That's my dog.